Can we build the loudest Walmart subwoofer build? Of course, only using Walmart equipment. Stay tuned to find out. Okay, so first trip to Walmart. We got 2 subs, 1 amp, radio wiring kit for the Tahoe, and the bigger light 6 or 4 gauge wiring kit. All that totaled $388. YouTube, that's right, Parker the Basshead here. In this series, we are going to be using Walmart equipment to build the loudest Walmart build on the planet. Of course, by planet, I mean my garage. But hey, maybe it'll be the loudest out there. No way for me to really know. Point being, we're going to do everything in our power to make it just as loud and as windy as possible. Now guys, let's go over some ground rules for this build. When I say a Walmart build, what exactly do I mean? What do we have to get from Walmart? What do we not have to get from Walmart? Well, to start out, obviously guys, the subs in the car have to be Walmart subs. And guys, there is no better Walmart sub than the Power Acoustic Gothic GW12. This sub is literally made for Walmart. Power Acoustic doesn't even sell the sub on their website. They do make a different Gothic version that you can buy. It's all black. Of course, this sub has the blue, like good old Walmart. Starting out with over here, we have 4 of the Power Acoustic Gothic subs. That being said, guys, this is not going to be enough. We're going to have at least 8 of these guys. Next up, hey, we got to power the subs. To do that, we're going to be running the Power Acoustic Razor amps. You can, of course, get these guys at Walmart as well. Now, they say they're 2,500 watts. The RMS power is more like 600 at 2 ohms. Thinking I'll have 1 amp per pair of subs. That means, hey, if we have 8 subs, that'll be 4 amps. Now, of course, we got to get power to the amps and power from the amps to the subs. To do that, of course, we're going to need wire. Now, my goal is to use as much Walmart wire for this as I can. For example, all the main leads, we're going to be using the Walmart kits. This is their 1,600 watt kit. And I've also got speaker wire from Walmart as well. We got the 14 gauge, it's the biggest stuff they sell. So that's what we'll have to run from the amp to the subs. Then got 16 gauge. We also are going to have speakers in all the doors. My plan is to have all those be Walmart speakers as well. Ran off of good old Walmart wire. Now I also needed a radio wiring kit. And of course, Walmart had just what I needed, so I picked up that. Real quick, guys, we got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor. They are just really helping make all of this possible. So big thank you to Alfred Audio. Quick word from them, then back to the video. Real quick, guys, I wanted to give y'all a quick look at the new Apocalypse Sylvester speakers that, of course, DefBonce makes. These things are really sweet, of course. A big, heavy guy over here. Now, if your normal ferrite motor is too heavy, maybe you're putting a bunch of these in your doors or something and you don't want to weigh them down. They also, of course, have the Neo version. You get a neodymium motor, so you get the same performance, but at a much, much lighter weight. So cool, guys. Let me show you all how these things sound. Over here, we have the regular Sylvester. Over here, we have the Neo. Let's turn this thing on so you can hear it. All right, just this guy. I'm gonna turn on the Neo version. Okay, let's turn this down a little bit. Let's turn on both now. Now, of course, I have the Arnold 8s down there at the bottom. If I turn all 4 on, it is insane how loud it gets in this garage. want some amazing speakers, there will of course be a link to Alfred Audio in the description below. Huge thank you to them for sponsoring the channel. Now back to the video. Now I'm planning to use a single DIN head unit, and I did want to get one from Walmart. That being said, when I went to Walmart to get a head unit, all these single DIN head units only had one pair of preamp outputs. And y'all, for a bigger system, that is definitely not going to work. For anybody who may be new to car audio, let me show you what I mean. So on the back of this head unit, guys, we have 3 pairs of preamp outputs. What this does, this sends out a low-level signal that would run through your RCA. For example, in this garage setup, we have RCAs that run out of the back of this. We have 2 pairs that run into this amp here. We then have a 3rd pair that runs up to here. This is then distributed to my subwoofer amps. That just allows you to get a signal from your head unit to your different amplifiers. So currently, guys, I have an old Pioneer head unit sitting around. It works just fine, gets the job done, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use that for now. If I do find a good head unit at Walmart, maybe I'll pick it up. Now, of course, I could go to walmart.com and order one, but you can order anything off walmart.com, so that really defeats the whole purpose of this build. What are some other things that I'm not going to get at Walmart? The next thing would be batteries. This system is going to be big enough. We're going to need extra batteries to keep this thing going. And while you can buy batteries at Walmart, they're just normal gel batteries. They're not meant to be inside your vehicle, and they have a bunch of extra lithium banks sitting around, so that's what we're going to do for that. Other things I can't buy at Walmart. Wood. Guys, we're going to build a massive box. This is going to be a wall build. I'll explain what that is here in a minute. But again, hey, can't buy wood at Walmart. So, obviously for stuff like wood, screws, glue, that kind of stuff, probably not going to get all that at Walmart. Another thing I may need at some point is an alternator. Of course, even if you have extra batteries, you got to keep those batteries charged. May need an alternator for that. Obviously not going to get that at Walmart either. That being said, guys, again, the subs, amps, door speakers, and as much of the wire as possible are going to be from Walmart. Now, all the equipment in the world will not get you a loud system if you don't have a vehicle to put it in. So for this build, we are of course going to be doing it in my 2002 Chevy Tahoe. Now, what makes this Tahoe special is that we have completely gutted it. The sole purpose of this thing is going to be an audio build. As you can see, we have tons of room for just an absolutely massive box inside this thing. It's going to be crazy. Now, if you kind of saw my last series, that series was getting this thing cleaned up and ready for a build. When I first got this Tahoe, guys, it was disgusting. It was just wet and moldy and dirty and raggedy. There's just disgustingness absolutely everywhere. Ugh. So nasty. Just a beat up old Tahoe. So I ripped the entire interior out. Literally took everything down to the metal. Took out the front seats. I actually recovered the driver's side one because it was just in terrible shape. Had to fix a bunch of electrical things. Then the entire floor we sound deadened. Now, since the last video on this thing, I did a few things. I fixed this door. It's not perfect, but it works. My windows now work. Got the gauge put back together. Got everything ready for my head unit over here. Finished putting sound deadening down over on the floor. I had done most of it before, but I went ahead, got the wheel tubs done. Still more to go, but we got kind of the big area done. Also got the rear AC back here all cleaned up. Now I'm going to leave this in here, guys. This is going to make a great cooling system for the build. It doesn't work currently, but I'm pretty sure it's just that this little guy right here is bad. Now in your normal subwoofer system, you just have a box sitting in the back of your car. Of course, the entire cabin of the car is open. Obviously, guys, that's practical. That's what any normal person would do. Extreme bass heads like myself are definitely not normal people. So, guys, this is going to be a walled vehicle. What does that mean? That means we're going to have a big box in here, and then we are literally going to have an actual wall that's going to separate the back of the car from the front of the car. Now, this is going to be a B-pillar wall. What that means, guys, is that in your car you have pillars. So, this guy over here is your A pillar, this is your B pillar, this is your C pillar, and so on. When you hear people talking about wall builds in their vehicles, you'll hear them talk about normally either B or C pillars. If I was going to do a C pillar, that would mean basically my wall would be right here, the subwoofers and the box would be back here. You then could have your back seats. That being said, that does not give as much room for subwoofers and whatnot. And you also have more cabin room that you have to pressurize. To get loud, guys, you want as small of a cabin as possible. So by me having this walled off right here, that'll give me all this room to fit as many subs in here as I can. And of course, the only thing we'll have to be pressurizing outside of the wall is just this little front area. That is really gonna allow this to be one nasty little build. Next problem I'm gonna have though is this roof. Even with it walled off, the whole car is gonna be flexing, especially the front, but we really don't want the whole roof flexing a whole lot. Now, to prevent that, guys, you really kind of have a couple options. First off, you could put sound deadening all over this, like I did on the floor here. That can help, but you're still normally going to get flex, especially in a, bigger system. And you could have that eventually peel and fall off, make a mess. Just not optimal. Some people will do some sort of fiberglass thing. You could do that as well. For me, though, guys, I'm going to be sticking with wood for this. We're going to be actually building plywood blocks that are going to be glued to the top of the ceiling. We'll then have one big sheet of plywood that'll go on the bottom of that. We'll seal this entire roof off and just make it as sturdy as can be. It is going to be awesome. First off, let's see if this guy plugs in. Pretty sure it's the right one, but not 100% sure. All right, here we go. Let's see if it works. All right, here's the factory setup. Let's see if this will plug in and work. Oh yeah, guys, that is what we were needing. Perfect. Also, I gotta give a huge shout out to the guys over at Baseaholics. They sent me this really nice dash kit for this guy. Now, I know all this looks a little odd. This is a 2002 Tahoe, but it actually has a faceplate over here from a little bit newer Tahoe, so it doesn't really fit right with the controls. It fits right with this, but the controls are set back a little bit. Y'all, this whole car is going to get shook apart anyway, so I'm not going to worry about how good it looks. Baseaholics actually also sent me some other goodies. We got a singled-in orange one and a doubled-in orange one. Now, after this build, guys, we are, of course, going to be hooking up the 8 Avatar subs, so I wanted to get a faceplate that would match the orange, and Baseaholics killed it. All right, guys, let's talk about what did all this cost? Now, I already had 2 of these Gothic subs from a previous series I'd done back a couple years ago, but I did go ahead and buy 2 more brand new. We, of course, still got to go and buy 4 more. Currently at Walmart, these guys are $89.96 a piece. Then we got this amplifier. Of course, that's one. We're going to need 3 more. It was $99.98. Got this GM connector. It was $10.56. Then got their 1600 watt wiring kit. The biggest wiring kit that they make. It was $46.93. Then the 16 gauge wire. It was $12.42. And the 14 gauge wire. It was $14.63. There was about 25 bucks in tax. Guys, that brought me to a total of $388.93. I will, of course, be keeping a running total on what this all costs. Again, another 4 of these, guys. That's going to be close to 400 more bucks. 3 more of these. That'll be another 300 more bucks. I'll probably need, I don't know, 5 or 6 more kits of these. That'll be another 3 or so hundred bucks. That's just equipment. That doesn't count all the wood we gotta buy. Things like glue. Then, of course, there's screws. Those add up. There's gonna be things like maybe some carpet, paint. Now, real quick, I do gotta give a big shout out to Big Jeff Audio. He had a bunch of sound deadening sitting around in his shop when he heard I was doing the build. He sent me a big old pile of it. That is going to be awesome. I had already bought all this sound deadener to get all the floor done, and I had enough to do that, which is perfect. But I still got to do all the doors. I got to do all the sides. There are still just going to be a ton of things that are going to need sound deadening. Y'all, just because we're using budget equipment does not mean that this build is going to be cheap. Now, I want to start this build series off with at least accomplishing something. Now, of course, guys, the starting point for a system is, of course, your head unit. Again, without a head unit, your amplifier and subwoofers, speakers, everything else are just absolutely useless. So let's go ahead and get these wired up. Now for these, all we gotta do is match up the colors. One thing I don't need, I don't need the speaker wires because we are not going to be using the amplifier inside the head unit itself. So that means all that we got to do for now is hook up these wires. We'll of course save my remote turn on back here for later. Plug this up and see if this works. There we go. I don't know if you can see that, guys, but there we go. Nice. Perfect. So next up, I gotta pull this back out. We'll bolt this in and get it in there, and it'll be pretty solid, at least for now. So this just fits in the GM kit just like that. And y'all, look at this kit. It is really a nice, heavy-duty dash kit. All right, got that in there really nice. Also, yeah, the option of getting it with these holes. You could put a little switch in there. That's kind of cool as well. All right, let's see if this will fit in here. It should. Oh, it's a little tight. Oh, yeah. All right, we're good. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Next video, guys, we're going to be jumping right into it, getting this system built. I cannot wait. If you want to support the channel, guys, all I ask is that you hit that like button and that you subscribe to the channel, and of course, leave a comment down below. I appreciate it. Remember, as always, though, keep basing on.